First of all, it's very encouraging to hear HaKadosh Baruch Hu answer Rabbi Finkelman's Tefillot, and he was here on time. His car started. So Baruch Hashem, this is a gewaldige thing right away. Baruch Hashem, we see the success of the koich of Tefillah. It's expressing a chorus atoiv to the OU and Mr. Buchweitz regarding taking the initiative, regarding this Asifa, very important gathering for Chizuk, inspiring, B'mayr the Oelbaum regarding the Yonam of Tefillah. I'm not exactly a Ponim Chadoshes when it comes to the OU. I had many opportunities to speak on behalf of you in different venues, different topics. But the Yonam of Tefillah, I believe, is very important. Just again, seeing the Oelbaum coming out, such a cold Motzei Shabbos, I'm reminded about a group of people who traveled by a plane, and anyone who's been on a plane from time to time have experienced some wild turbulence, and it's only the nature of people. When a plane experiences turbulence, you begin to be mahara b'tshuva. Well, you can imagine this was not exactly people from persuasion, a secular group of people, and somebody gets up and says, very quickly says, "Is there anybody here that knows how to pray?" No one. And then he gets up and says, "Well, is there anybody here maybe can recite some Bible?" Says, "No one." Finally, in desperation, he says, "Is there anybody here can do anything religious?" And somebody gets up and he makes an appeal. But what happened to Rabbi, unfortunately, this is the way it has become, that people, when you see Yidden getting together, the opportunities have been fundraising. But it is expressly, it's tremendous Kiddush Hashem, when in fact, when you see Yidden coming together for Kiddush Hashem Shemayim, that is for the sake to be inspired by Tefillah. The truth is, regarding Tefillah, we see something tremendously paradoxical. On the one hand, we find tremendous mamorim. It would not be a guzma. The problem in the area of Tefillah, we find lishonos. Lishonos expression of Chazal that you will not find certainly in many other areas. The Tanchum Parshas Miketz use a lashon, ein loch gedolim min Tefillah. Quite simply, there's nothing that's greater from Tefillah. More in Brachas goes Lamed Beis doesn't end there and says, Gedoyla Tefillah Yoser Memaisim Tovim. Tefillah is greater than Maisim Tovim, than good deeds. She'ein l'cha godel b'Maisim Tovim Yoser Memoshe Rabbeinu, afal pikein lo inana ela b'Tefillah. Who is greater than Maisim Tovim than Moshe Rabbeinu? And yet, in order for his Tefillah to be accepted, in order for his hopes, his aspirations, he needed Tefillah. Maisim Tovim alone don't do it. And then say Chazal in the same Gemara, Gedoyle Tefillah Yoser min HaKorbanos. Korbanos. And here we say in Shalom Beparim Sefaseinu that our Tefillahs are B'mokim Korbanos, and yet there's a certain aspect in Tefillah that transcends the godless of Korbanos. And finally, Megillah Dav Chovav, Rabbi Yochanan says, Gedoyle Tefillah min HaTorah. Tefillah sometimes is greater than Limud HaTorah. And it brings a raya from Elisha that all of the nisim loy also el al yedei tefillah. Not through the koich of Torah, did it through the koich of tefillah. As a matter of fact, the person can bring down b'shem the rekeach. If someone says it's more important to learn than to daven, ha-mevatel tefillah b'shvil Torah, afilu loymid im acherim kol hayoyim kilu loy lomat klum. So says the rekeach. If someone's mevatel tefillah, learning is more important. I'm Torah the Rabbin. We're talking about tefillah b'makom when you have to daven. We're talking about not extra tefillah. It says Chazal kilo lo'lamat klum, and yet Chazal already have recognized the weaknesses that we have when it comes to the area of tefillah. And the Gemara says in Brachas Davov Dvarim she'oimdim beruma shel olam. Tefillah are among the things that rank highest in the world. And people are mezalzel. And I think there could be more than one reason for this. Possibly the reason that people are mezalzel, if you think deep down within ourselves. And if we are honest with ourselves, most likely it is because deep down we do not firmly believe in the power of tefillah. The metzius is that a person is not mezalzel in anything that is choshev to him. Money, you're not mezalzel in. It's choshev. Diamonds, precious stones, things that you connect, which are important, which are choshev, you're not mezalzel. Chazal say, Tefillah, dvarim, she'oimdim, bruma shel olam, b'nei odom mezalzel behem. It means because deep down we do not feel do not feel appreciation to the Yeshivas of Tefillah. Many years ago, a Yid comes to the altar of Nevardik, were the great founders of the Musar movement. And he asks him with tears, and he asks him to be mispalel on behalf of his son who is a choyle, who is chas v'sholem, he is noite lomus. Doctors have given up hope for him. And he asks the altar to be mispalel. And the altar says, listen, you need a Yeshua. I have the ability to bring a roife mumche. I have the ability, but he's very expensive. It's going to cost you 100 rubles. Tremendous amount of money that time. The father says, when it comes to the health, the refuah of my son, the matter of life and death, he says, money is no object. Whatever the doctor, whatever the refuah is, I'm ready to pay. And the altar says, what I want you to do is hire 10 Talmidei Chachamim, give each one 10 rubles. They should daven on behalf of your son and say, Omen yesh mei rabo b'kavona gedoylo. I have talked from Chazal. Kol omer omen yesh mei rabo b'chol koichoi koiren like zardinoi. That's the doctor that you mean to daven. It's going to cost me 100 rubles. And the altar says, seeing the hesitation of the person, the fact that you are not ready to hire 10 Talmidei Chachamim, to say the Omen yesh mei rabo, you feel it's worthless. You do not believe in the koich of the tefillah. Then how do you expect all of the tehillim and all the tefillahs that you have said on behalf of your son? Why are you so surprised that it was not noise peiris? Did not see the fruits of that tefillah when you don't yourself believe in that koich of tefillah? In other words, what it means is that in order for the koich of tefillah to work, you have to believe in it. That itself, Rabbi Sai, is of all of the inyonim. When a person tries to make his tefillah effective, you have to believe in your koich of tefillah. The more you believe in the power of your tefillah, the more effective it will be. Ad kedei kach, to know what it means believing in a tefillah, there's a sefer called Igrei Seifrim, where there's a collection of various different letters from some sefer and his children and related relatives. Bishpacha Seifrim. And you have there a letter between Hagoyin Reb Shlomo Eger, the son of Rabbi Akiva Eger, where he writes to his father, the great Rabbi Akiva Eger, for Abba Kosher to be mispalel on behalf of a person's wife. And Rabbi Akiva Eger was mispalel. And Rabbi Akiva Eger says, I'm very surprised. I'm very surprised. Hispalalti ba'ad Sora bas Rivke veloy na nesi. I'm surprised I was mispalel on behalf of the woman, Sora bas Rivke, and I wasn't answered. Ulai yesh tois b'shemes. Maybe there's a mistake in the name. Kiveger didn't occur to him that his tefillah wasn't accepted. He believed in his tefillah. And if he wasn't answered, Kiveger says, maybe there was a tois in the name. Maybe you got the name wrong. Reb Shlomo Eger investigated by the husband of the woman, and he found out there was a mistake. And he writes back to Rabbi Akiva Eger, and Rabbi Akiva Eger responds, Hispalalti bad Rivke bas Sora, not Sora bas Rivke, benanesi. My tefillah was answered. You believe in your koich of tefillah. When you stand before HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and you believe that this is the Mikar HaBracha, Baruch Atah Hashem, this is the source of bracha. This is the makom where you are able to receive, to be able to be koine, to be able to be yoinik. When you believe in the power of your tefillah, you make it happen. That is a main ingredient, and that's a key ingredient. The truth is, when we look around and we try to figure out all of the aspects of tefillah, we find a Meir de Gezach, and I say this is amazing, and I repeat it again, amazing. A number of weeks ago, I had the opportunity to speak at a particular Malvamalka in the 5 towns. And I mentioned an amazing Ramban, and I repeat it again, it's amazing. We find in Parashat Shemos, Vayomer Moshe el Holakim. Moshe says to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hine anochi bol b'nei Yisrael, I'm coming to the b'nei Yisrael. V'omru li, they're going to ask a question. Ma Shemoi. What is the name of Hashem? Ma oimer aleim. What am I supposed to say? Vayomer HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to Moshe Rabbeinu, Eke asher eke. What does Rabbi say? What is this dialogue? They're not going to ask, what is Hashem's name? So I'll give him a name. So what's that going to mean? They're going to ask me, Ma Shemoi. And so I tell them a name, now they're going to know more. What are they going to know by that name? What are they going to know? And HaKadosh Baruch Hu answers them, go tell them. Eke asher eke. Ramban points out that the Shakla V'Tarya here between Moshe Rabbeinu and HaKadosh Baruch Hu was something totally different. If you take a look, Rabbi Isai, in the world of philosophy, and people are trying to figure out, can we prove, is there any proof, is there a Boyer Olam, is there not a Boyer Olam? We're talking about beyond the Kabbalah of the Messiah, that we Yidden have a Messiah. Navada we have a Emunah B'Hashem, Messiah Ha'avos. There's also a Bechin of Chakira. It's not for everyone, certainly not. And we find all the different proofs. There is a proof, there's not a proof. One brings a proof, the other refutes it. And all are tremendous Chachomim. Umas Oelbaum have discussed this topic. And Yesh Chochma Bagoyim Tamin. And certainly our Svar Mekdoshim, go into Chovos HaLevavos, who discusses it, go and look in the Sefer Hu Ikarim from Rabbi Yosef Albo. The Rambam, the Meir Nevuchim. Ramban says, Moshe Rabbeinu confronts HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If you were given the task to find out there's a proof that there's a Boyer Olam in the world, Rabbi Isai, who among anyone has the greatest ability to give you proof? Says Ramban, HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself. There's no one greater than HaKadosh Baruch Hu can give you some indication, can give you proof that there is a Boyer Olam, than Hashem himself. Ramban says, Moshe Rabbeinu's question was, Vayomer Moshe L'Elokim, Hine Anochi Bal B'nei Yisrael, V'omru li Ma Shemoi does not mean a name. Ma Shemoi means, tell me the essence of Hashem, prove to us that there's a Boyer Olam. Moshe Rabbeinu was confronting HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You can put away all the Sifrei Chakira, all this Sfarim on philosophy. HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself has now been asked the question. You HaKadosh Baruch Hu, one answer. Prove it to me. How and what am I to say to Klal Yisrael to show them proof that there's a Boyer Olam? Now HaKadosh Baruch Hu answers Eke Asher Eke. What is that answer? Says Ramban, Ein lehem tzarech l'raya acheres. You want proof there's a Boyer Olam? They don't need any other raya. Rak ki eye imohem b'chol tzarosom. The fact that I am with them at the time of a tzara, any tzara, yikrauni, all they have to do is call out to me, ve'anem, and I answer. The fact that when Klal Yisrael is in a tzara, we are here today. Mighty empires have been wiped out. We, Klal Yisrael, are here today because Kodesh Baruch Hu is with us. Eye imohem b'chol tzarosom. Yikrauni, they have to only call out to me. Ve'anem. Ends the Ramban, listen. Vehi haraya hagdoyle sheyesh elikim b'Yisrael. That's the greatest raya. The greatest raya that there's a Boyer Olam is, Kodesh Baruch Hu answers the tefillos of Klal Yisrael. Ramban, Kodesh Baruch Hu's answer. This is the greatest raya. The greatest raya on both sides that there is a Boyer Olam. No. Comes now the Mesilas Yesharim, Rabbi Isai. And the Mesilas Yesharim tells us in Perek Tes. Do you realize when a person communicates with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, says the Mesilas Yesharim, V'noisen mamishim yizbarach. You have the ability to confront and speak to HaKadosh Baruch Hu like you're speaking to your friend. Ulefonav hu mischanein. And he pleads in front of Hashem. Ume'ita hu mevakesh. V'hu yizbarach shemoi mazin loy. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is listening. Makshish l'dvarach. Kasher yedaber ish al reyehu. We look at tefillah as something abstract. But realize you are now speaking, communicating. Kasher ish al reyehu. Now let me tell you how far that privilege goes. When Ramban told us, V'hi haraya hagdoyle sheyesh elikim b'Yisrael, let me tell you something that's mind-boggling. In Ksubes, Daf Kuvdal Ramad Aleph, by the Ptira of Rabbeinu HaKodesh. Rabbi, Rabbeinu HaKodesh was nifter. So the Gemara says, don't publicize it. Don't put an announcement in the Hamoidiyah or any other paper. Don't publicize it. As a matter of fact, Kol man de Omar mis Rebbe, whoever goes out and reveals it, Yedoker becheref, should be pierced by a sword. In other words, we forbid anyone. It's too early to tell the people. Rabbi here has been nifter. Rabbi, Rabban Shal Yisrael, he's nifter. Don't reveal it to anyone. Says the Shittim Mukabetzis. And I'm telling you again, it's mind-boggling. Why not? Why not? Rabbeinu Kodesh died. Why not reveal? Why is it not the time to be megala to Klal Yisrael that Rebbe was nifter? Says the Shita Mukebetzis. I'll tell you what he says and I'll tell you the Loshen because you won't believe it. He says as follows. Kol Zman, a person still alive, even though he is sick, people feel a need or a value to be mispalel for him. He's alive. And if he's alive, we can be mispalel and hopefully there'll be a refuah. The moment that someone dies, we stop davening. He's died. He's dead. Says the Shita Mukebetzis. Rabbi Taka died. The hope was, listen to this, that if people don't know that he died, they'll continue to be mispalel and they'll be Machayim Esim. They'll be Machayim Esim. We don't want people to know that Rabbi died. We want people to think he's still lying in bed sickly and there's room for Tefillah. And if people will continue to be mispalel, they'll be Machayim Esim. Says the Shita Mukebetzis, Yidoker Becharev. A person who reveals it will be pierced by the sword. The ilu have a yodi bebiro demis. Because when people know for sure that he died, lo havu boye rachme alei. They will not be mispalel de lechaye. But now that he died and nobody knows, v'inu lo yodi, now that he dies and they don't know, they'll have a boye rachme alei becheske shuchai. They think that he's alive. To be able to achieve Tchias HaMesim is a mind-boggling thing. And in fact, we know there were Gedol Oelbaum, certainly the Tanoi Magdoshim and the Maroim, who had the Koich of being Machayim Mesim, and it was said even like later Gedolim and Goyim who had that ability, even though they didn't use it, to be Machayim Mesim. That is as far as the Koich of Tefillah goes. I have to tell you, Rabbi Sai, part of the problem is when we daven and we find ourselves in a tzara, we find ourselves in a calamity, we find ourselves in a situation that we daven from a matzav of Yeush. We daven from a matzav, but deep down we say to ourselves, we're talking davening, but it's unlikely. It's unlikely that we're going to achieve with our tefillah. Do you realize, Rabbi Sai, when it came to the parish of Hagar with Yishmael, it says, there was no water to drink. It says, Vatiso koiloi vateif. And Hagar raises her voice and she cries. But you notice what else it says? It says later on, Vayishma lekim al koil hanar. Hashem listened to him, to Yishmael. Chazal medayik. It wasn't her tefillah that was heard. Vayishma lekim al koil hanar. Why? So Balamusa pointed out, because she, as she was davening, she used the lashon al ere b'mois hayoled vatiso as koila vatev. She cried because of Yeush. She had already confirmed he's going to die. She's crying. Yishmael was a tefillah of a Yeshua. It was a tefillah of hope. A tefillah of hope, Rabbi Isai, you can accomplish. You can achieve. If it's tefillah out of Yeush, Rabbi Isai, that kind of a tefillah is very, very limited. And the emes is, when it comes to Moshe Rabbeinu, the Rabban Shel Yisrael and his mispalel, they go into Eretz Yisrael and it didn't help. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Rav loch al toisev daber aloi oid badover azeh, which means to say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, Moshe, stop davening. Stop davening. Rav loch al toisev daber. You know what the Chassam Sofer says? Chassam Sofer says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu only said to Moshe, stop davening. Had Yidden davened on behalf of Moshe, he would have gone into Eretz Yisrael. Why didn't they daven? Because they said to themselves, if Moshe couldn't achieve, my tefillah is better than Moshe Rabbeinu. Some Sofer, it's a mistake. Moshe hat nicht gekannt Poil, die kennst ja. Moshe maybe not. You could, you can. Don't underestimate the koich and the power of your tefillah. Moshe Taka was given a directive. Rav loch al toisev daberlai oid bedover azeh. But Klal Yisrael was not given that directive. They are, and they were able to be mispal on behalf of a Moshe Rabbeinu. Had they been mispal on behalf of a Moshe Rabbeinu, says Chassam Sofer, they would have been able to poil, they would have been able to achieve, and to break through the Gzeirah. Many years at an Aguda convention, the Matasyoy Salman pointed out, it happened to be a forum regarding parenting today in a changing world. And someone came up to him and said, they usually know he's a Mashgiach and a Yeshiva, so he has different ideas about parenting. So Matasyoy said, and I paraphrase, he said, someone told me Rav Matisyahu says, someone came over to him. Someone told me I should not talk about davening as being an eitzah to have good children. Give us practical eitzahs. I disagree totally, he said. I disagree totally. The most practical advice I can give you for success is to daven for it. Don't stop davening. Don't stop davening. He also said that regarding a particular bacher, it was an average bacher. For some reason, he always managed to secure some of the best chavrusas in yeshiva. And nobody could figure out how is it that this bacher, an average bacher, he always happened to manage somehow to manipulate the situation, and he always gets the best chavrusa. So Matisyahu said that he heard that someone was passing by the phone booth as this bacher was in Eretz Yisrael, so he was calling his mother, who was in England, and he says, Mommy, you can stop davening now, I already have my chavrusa. It's the mother's tefillah. The mother's tefillah is davening on behalf of her child to have the best chavrusa. And this is what she has been doing for the past few years. And in fact, we are for the best chavrusa. As the show actually pointed out, very interesting, he said, with a good svara. He said, you have to realize that the koyach and success of chinuch has to do mainly in the main. There's a lot of other things, but mainly it's of the koyach of tefillah. And the chesh is poshit. Can you imagine? He says, al pi Torah, the chiyuv and the mitzvah of getting married is at a very young age. Practically speaking, we delay marriage until we are more mature. Certainly in Hasidic circles, they get married at age 16, 17, and you go in the early generations, hundreds of years before, they got married after bar mitzvah, 13, 14, 15. These people are getting married, have the mitzvah of having children. Who taught them how to raise children? They didn't go to a Torah Masorah course. They have no license how to teach children. How do they know what parenting is all about? As a matter of fact, they themselves are children. It's children having children. So what's the cheshbon? When Torah gave the mitzvah to get married, you get married young and have children. How are you going to raise them? Siyata d'shmaya. It's not through your seichel of parenting. Seichel helps a lot, but that's not the key to the success. The key to the success of parenting, because it's siyata d'shmaya. And siyata d'shmaya means you have to be mispal for that siyata d'shmaya in order to be zoicha that Kodesh Baruch Hu gives you that siyata d'shmaya. If you have the proper siyata d'shmaya, you can be zoicha. You can be zoicha to have avada, be matzliach with your children. There's a tefillah from the Chazon Ish, ki yidua, Chazon Ish, particular nusach of how parents should be mispalel. I've seen it personally. I've seen it personally in situations where parents have had children just about to go off the derech and have said the tefillah of the Chazon Ish, said it for quite a number of weeks, months, and mamish, they've seen miraculously, they see a tremendous turnaround. Tremendous turnaround. Contested that firsthand. To the koyach of tefillah. I composed a different tefillah, chaltzah abeser tefillah. You know why? Because things have changed in terms of certain tzaras to be able to identify in detail in certain what you're being mispal for in terms of chinuch habonim. It's at the time of the Chazon Ish we didn't have that problem. It is said, Rabbi Sai, Rabbi Chaim Kanievsky was asked if a beis medrash requires security. So if a beis requires security. And they said it all depends, he says, if you have a cell phone in the beis medrash. So if you have a cell phone in the beis medrash, you need security, because then you're not in the beis medrash. You may be physically over here, but your mind is someplace else. So Mordechai Rabbi is a tremendous bizoyin. We have a sign over here. Some people don't know it. Some people can read Hebrew. This is the thing about it. That cell phone. A number of years ago, was in Yerushalayim. Those who have been, you know, there's Zichron Moshe Shtiblach, where you have really a minion factory, what's going on over there. It's also one of those places probably better to daven b'yechidus than I think to daven those shtiblach. I said to myself many times, I daven better when I come to Eretz Yisrael. I mean, the kedusha of Eretz Yisrael. You hope to have mamish gewaldige davening. Say to myself, I daven better in Chutz La'aretz than Eretz Yisrael when you go to these places. And I see there a young man, and I shochet to tell you with such kavona, that tremendous, there has some envy, some kineh. Look at that daven with such tremendous kavona. And somewhere halfway in the middle of the Shemoneh Esrei, there's something ringing in his pocket. All of a sudden, he stops shuckling. And he takes out that cell phone, and he starts to look at it. It's calm. Close it, and continues davening Kilu Loi Hoi, and again with his elbow, gewaldige kavana, as if nothing happened. Gavur, I have to tell you, that Reb Shloime Eger was a tremendous goyin. In the beginning of his career, he was Isaac in Misra, he was involved in business. Later on, he became the Rav in Posen, the same city where his father was Rav. Agavurcha, if you look through the Shalsi Chuvas of Rabbi Kiveger, you'll find that if you don't look at the name at the bottom, correspondence between father and son, you'll be hard-pressed to figure out on your own which is Rabbi Kiveger's Chuva and which is Rabbi Shlomo Eger. The goodness and the gallows of Rabbi Shlomo Eger is quite right up there with his father. Rabbi Shlomo Eger, he had to leave, stop his learning, the prescribed time that had to go into business, but as soon as he was finished, he would come back, and people would notice that the moment that he came back, he was able to learn as if he never left. And he once explained, he said, I got a bracha from my father, Rabbi Shlomo Eger, Rabbi Kiveger. He said that when I have to have a break, I have no choice. I have to stop learning because I have to be Yosek in Tzarchei Olam Hazeh. The bracha of my father, Rabbi Kiveger, was that when I come back, I should be in the sugya to be able to continue without starting over again, as if I never left. Tremendous bracha. Tremendous bracha that the hefsek should not stare his learning, his amkus. He's able to continue his train of thought. He's able to continue his learning in the sugya as if he never left. Rabbi Shlomo Eger. That was the koyach. So Kalponim. So here also this younger man, he stopped looking at his cell phone and he continues Kilo Lahoya. Nothing happened. He must have also got a bracha from someone. You can stop with your cell phone and look further. But Rabbi Sai, it rang again the second time. In order he stops. I thought maybe it was an emergency, maybe he closed his phone. No. This happened 2, 3, 4 times. And it tells you something. So Mordechai, here mitzarechot shokelt sich mit azam bren kol atzmoy soy tarmano. Everything was tarmano. The cell phone, everything was moving. You could hear everything. What's going on? This is the zilzal. This is what Chazal mean also. In today's times, dvarim ha'oim dem brumashayim benodem mizalzelen bohem. It's a tremendous zilzal. That's probably what Chaim Kanievsky meant. If you don't have a cell phone, he says in the Beis Medrash, he says then the Beis Medrash does not need security. Because then, in fact, you are in the Beis Medrash. But if you have that cell phone, then you're really someplace else. You're not over here. And I have to tell you, and I conclude, that the emes is that regarding the koyach of Tefillah that we have been talking about, Reb Itzel Peterburger pointed out, we know Chazal have told us, brachas, say Chazal, and Daf Samach, that we know regarding David HaMelech. David HaMelech, we learn saying the Haftarah, Vayechasuhu bibegodim v'lo yicham loy. David HaMelech, as he became older, he felt chilled, and therefore they tried to cover him up and to warm him with begodim. So they covered him with begodim v'lo yicham. It didn't become warm, didn't help. He didn't become heated. All the begodim did not warm him. And Chazal say the reason is because David HaMelech was mevaze begodim. He was mevaze begodim at the time when he cut the me'il, the edge of the meal of the beged of Shaul HaMelech. He cut it. Even though there was good reason for that. There was a reason for that. Nevertheless, he cut the knaf me'il of the beged of Shaul HaMelech. Memela, the begodim, midah keneged midah, did not give him warmth. In other words, to us it seems very natural, Rabbi Isai. It seems very natural that begodim give us warmth. Why is it natural? It's only natural because Kodesh Baruch Hu was geyser that way. HaKadosh Baruch Hu put it into the nature of begodim that if you put begodim, if you cover yourself with begodim, then you are warm. But if you abuse the covet of the begodim, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu removes that chelik of teva from begodim. You can put all the begodim around you and you're still going to be cold. If you mevaze an item, you aren't going to be able to benefit from it. Said Rabbi Itzel Peterburger. So make a cheshbon. If you have zilzul for tefillah, if you are mevazet tefillah, if you speak during Chazor Sashat, you talk during davening, then you yourself have taken away the koyach of tefillah. Because when you're mezalzel in something, you have taken away the power of the ability of the item to work. This is the avodah. The avodah is to restore our tefillah, to give it the proper kavod, to give it the proper respect. That is the kavod that we have. But unfortunately, if you have people being mezalzel in a Beis Medrash, so you can have like this. You have people on this side of the Beis Medrash, let's say, who are mezalzel. Then you have other people who are conscientious about tefillah. You know what it means when you have a mixed tzibur? So I have to tell you, the lashon that we find here, the Taz, we find the lashon. Tzorech lizoy shel ledaber bebeis hakneses, shum dibur kal chutz min hatefillah. And then he goes on to say, actually this is the KosherSwitch Magid in the Sefer Avodas Yisrael on Ovis. And the KosherSwitch Magid says as follows: Va'af shar ha'om hamispalim b'kavona. Listen what he says. Again, mind-boggling again. even though there are other people in shul that are davening b'kavonah. If you're davening with people who are mezalzel and tefillah, then even those who are davening properly, it's shaykh that they're going to ruin it for everybody else. It's a tremendous achrayus that an individual comes into a Beis HaKnesses. Individual comes into a shul to realize the ramifications of his attitude towards tefillah. So, Rabbi, we are living today in stormy times, the dangerous times. It doesn't take much to blow up the world. In addition, it's a world, our world, the Jewish world, is flooded with so many different sorrows in every area. We have so many cholim that need rachmi shemai mamish. We have Yidden who need brachis in the area of Parnosa. There are Yidden who have problems with chinuch habonim. There are problems in the areas of shidduchim, and the list goes on and on. We have to remember that ein koychenu ela bepeh, and therefore we have to be very careful not to be mechalel the kedushas hamokim. You're mechalel kedushas hamokim, you take away the efficacy of the koyach of tefillah, because if you're mezalzel in the covet of an item, we saw from a Bistel Peterburger what it means. Kodesh Baruch Hu should help us. There should be mekabel ora tefillas berachmim uberotzoim. We should be zoiche to Yeshuas and Refuas. Bon Hachaim bezoynem et simcha v'nachas. Shefa bracha v'atzlocha biaz goyel tzedek v'meher b'ymeinu. Amen. And a good Tavach. Hey, no one. And then he gets up and says, well, is there anybody here maybe can recite some Bible? Says no one. Finally, the desperation says, is there anybody here can do anything religious? And somebody gets up and he makes an appeal. But what happened, Rabbi Sai, unfortunately, this is the way it has become, that people, when you see Yidden getting together, the opportunities have been fundraising. But it is expressly, it's tremendous Kiddush Hashem, when in fact, when you see Yidden coming together for Kiddush Hashem Shemayim, that is for the sake to be inspired by Tefillah. The truth is, regarding Tefillah, we see something tremendously paradoxical. On the one hand, we find tremendous mamorim. It would not be a guzma. The problem in the area of Tefillah, we find lishonos. Lishonos expression of Chazal that you will not find certainly many other areas. The Tanchum and Parshas Miketz use a lashon, ein loch gedolim in Tefillah. Quite simply, there's nothing that's greater from Tefillah. More in Brachas goes Lamed Beis doesn't end there and says, Gedoyla Tefillah Yoser Memaisim Toivim. Tefillah is greater than Maisim Toivim than good deeds. She'ein l'cha godel b'maisim Toivim Yoser Memoshe Rabbeinu, afal pikein lo inana ela b'tefillah. Who is greater than Maisim Toivim than Moshe Rabbeinu? And yet, in order for his tefillah to be accepted, in order for his hopes, his aspirations, he needed tefillah. Maisim Toivim alone don't do it. And then say Chazal in the same Gemara, Gedoyle Tefillah Yoser Min HaKorbanos. Korbanos. And here we say in Shalom Beparim Sefaseinu that our tefillahs are b'mokim korbanos, and yet there's a certain aspect in tefillah that transcends the godless of korbanos. And finally, Megillah Dav Chovav, Rabbi Yochanan says, Gedoyle Tefillah Min HaTorah. Tefillah sometimes is greater than Limud HaTorah. And it brings a raya from Elisha that all of the nisim loy also el al yedei tefillah. Not through the koich of Torah, did it through the koich of tefillah. As a matter of fact, the person can bring down b'shem the rekeach. If someone says it's more important to learn than to daven, ha-mevatel tefillah b'shvil Torah, afilu loymid im acherim kol hayoyim kilo loy lomat klum. So says the rekeach. If someone's mevatel tefillah, learning is more important. I'm Torah the Rabbin. We're talking about tefillah b'makom when you have to daven. We're talking about not extra tefillah. It says Chazal kilo lo'elamat klum, and yet Chazal already have recognized the weaknesses that we have when it comes to the area of tefillah. And the Gemara says in Brachas Davov Dvarim she'oimdim berumah shel olam. Tefillah are among the things that rank highest in the world. And people are mezalzel. And I think there could be more than one reason for this. Possibly the reason that people are mezalzel, if you think deep down within ourselves. And if we are honest with ourselves, most likely it is because deep down we do not firmly believe in the power of tefillah. The metzius is that a person is not mezalzel in anything that is choshev to him. Money, you're not mezalzel in. It's choshev. Diamonds, precious stones, things that you connect, which are important, which are choshev, you're not mezalzel. Chazal say, Tefillah, dvarim, she'oimdim rumah she'loilam, b'nei odom mezalzel behem. It means because deep down we do not feel appreciation to the Yeshivas of Tefillah. Many years ago, a Yid comes to the altar of Nevardik, with the great founders of the Musar movement. And he asks him with tears, and he asks him to be mispalel on behalf of his son who is a choyle, who is chas v'sholem, he is noite lomus. Doctors have given up hope for him. And he asks the altar to be mispalel. And the altar says, listen, you need a Yeshua. I have the ability to bring a Reife Mumche. I have the ability, but he's very expensive. It's going to cost you 100 rubles. Tremendous amount of money that time. The father says, when it comes to the health, the refu of my son, the matter of life and death, he says, money is no object. Whatever the doctor, whatever the refu is, I'm ready to pay. And the altar says, what I want you to do is hire 10 Talmidei Chachamim, give each one 10 rubles. They should daven on behalf of your son and say, Omen yesh mei rabo b'kavona gedoylo. I have talked from Chazal. Kol omer omen yesh mei rabo b'chol koichoi. First of all, it's very encouraging to hear HaKadosh Baruch Hu answer Rabbi Finkelman's Tefillot, and he was here on time, his car started. So Baruch Hashem, this is a gewaldige thing right away. Baruch Hashem, we see the success of the Koyach of Tefillah. It's expressing HaKoras HaToiv to the OU and Mr. Buchweitz regarding taking the initiative, regarding this Asifa, very important gathering for Chizuk, inspiring, B'Meir the Oelbaum regarding the Yonam of Tefillah. I'm not exactly a Ponim Chadoshes when it comes to the OU. I had many opportunities to speak on behalf of you in different venues, different topics. But the Yin of Tefillah, I believe, is very important. Just again, seeing the Oelbaum coming out, such a cold Motzei Shabbos, I'm reminded about a group of people who travel by a plane, and anybody who's been on a plane from time to time have experienced some wild turbulence. And it's only the nature of people, when a plane experiences turbulence, you begin to be mahara b'tshuva. Well, you can imagine this was not exactly people from persuasion, a secular group of people, and somebody gets up and says, very quickly says, and anybody here that knows how to pray?